So our readings, assigned by the Anglican Breviary, skipped over some repetitive chapters of 1 Samuel. David takes 2 wives, one of them Saul's daughter, goes into and out of favor with King Saul 100 times, fights the Philistines, leading armies, and he and Jonathan become and remain such steadfast, brother-like friends that Jonathan falls out of favor with his father, Saul, and is disinherited for his support of David. Saul is mortally wounded in the same battle that sees Jonathan's death, and rather than die at the hands of the uncircumcised, Saul falls on his own sword. In today's lessons, we see David crowned King of Judah. Remember, the lands were divided much like 17th century maps of Scotland into clan or tribal territories, named after the sons of Jacob, Israel. In this period, Israel refers to the lands of the north, modern Israel from the Dead Sea up, including some of southern Lebanon, and Judah, Jerusalem down, not including the Negev and Gaza regions of the modern state. Another son of Saul is crowned king of Israel. The house is divided. You may recall that the people begged Samuel for a king, and he said it would end in tears. He gave them Saul, and it ended in bloodshed and division. Why, in the name of God, do we as a human race love to fight with each other? Why do we love to judge each other? Is it because we're just so darned religious? Maybe. Or is it because we pretend to worship a God who calls us to mercy and to leave judgment to Him? And though we may go through the motions of religiosity and may even become deacons, priests, and bishops, we have perhaps unknowingly and subconsciously lost our faith in the all-knowing, all-powerful Judge Supreme, and so have filled the void and become judge in His place. In the beginning, God created mankind, and we have been trying to return the favor ever since. In his July 2023 article in The Spectator, Matthew Paris writes about this very subject, our God complex. He had just been to the Glyndebourne Festival performance of Rossini's La Cenerentola and was on a high, because in an age which has become so serious, this performance was fun and camp and unself-conscious and not afraid to offend our age's Neo Puritan sensibilities. And then the show was over and back to reality. A man of 60, Paris reflects on his day when he writes, "We gossiped and wagged fingers, of course. But I don't remember our getting so angry, so righteously indignant about others. Live and let live was something one could say of those who didn't conform, but you wouldn't hear it now of someone who struck the wrong note in conversation, touched someone else in the wrong way, or expressed an opinion deemed deviant. Listen to Noel Coward, Frank Sinatra, Rosemary Clooney, or Cole Porter. There was a devilment, a tolerance of looseness, a curiosity about people who broke the social rules. Today, a new Puritanism is abroad. I'm not saying people were not conformist. Most always have been. But has there ever been, in my lifetime at least, this is still Paris writing, in my lifetime at least, A time when a single set of rules and the attitudes and behavior that goes with them has had such an iron grip on polite society, I don't think so. Nor can I remember a time when people felt such a reproachful urge to correct and, if necessary, punish, or to see that others did. End quote. Well, I say we return to the days of Paris's youth, of my youth, of most of your youths, and the saint we commemorate today. Saint Bonaventure, a classmate of Thomas Aquinas at Paris University in the mid-1200s, noted that his favorite textbook was the Crucifix, for he studies only Jesus Christ and him crucified. One of the greatest scholars and humblest men of his day, when the Pope sent his envoys to him with a cardinal's hat, Bonaventure was washing the dishes at his monastery. He simply told them to put it on that bush over there, and kept on washing up. It was said of Bonaventure by Pope Innocent IV in his funeral oration about him that no one ever looked on him without loving him. May we be a bit more like Bonaventure and a little less Puritan. And I say that as the 12th great-grandson of Elder Brewster, grateful to him for weathering the journey and the first winters, not proud of how he treated his fellow men and Anglicans. Paris concludes his article, and I'll conclude our meditation today with a challenge. He concludes, God, we once believed, possessed such powers, and when the time came, would use them. Knowing this gave us good reason to stand back. God was watching. God would judge. God would repay. None of my business was something you could say and mean, and a phrase and sentiment I heard often when younger. You don't hear it so often now. If not my business, then whose? Perhaps we have not, after all, abolished God. Instead, we have appointed ourselves to the post.